The Uncanny Valley. This happened. I wish it didn't. I want to be clear about something before I start. This is not a ghost story. Nothing jumped out. Nothing chased me. Nothing dramatic happened. And that's what makes it worse. Because whatever this was, looked completely human. Act I, the normal beginning. I met them the same way you meet most people. By accident, through routine. Through something so ordinary, I never questioned it. Same building, same hours, same polite exchanges. At first, they were just there. You know how some people exist on the edge of your awareness? Not friends, not strangers, just background humans. That's what they were. And if the story ended there, I wouldn't be telling it. The first thing I noticed wasn't fear, it was timing. Their responses were always half a second late. Not enough to comment on, not enough to accuse, just enough to notice. When I laughed, they laughed after. When I stopped talking, they waited, then spoke. Like they were watching me first, learning the smile. Their smile never changed. Same width, same angle, same duration. Every time, it didn't grow or fade. It just appeared. I remember thinking, that's a confident person. But confidence relaxes. This never did. The eyes, eye contact felt wrong. Not intense, not aggressive, just unbroken. Most people look away without realizing. Micro glances, natural shifts. They didn't. I started counting without meaning to. 5 seconds, 10. Still staring, still smiling. Act 2. The first crack. The first real crack happened during a normal conversation. They asked me a question. I answered honestly, and they responded with sympathy. The problem? The emotion didn't match. Their voice said concern. Their face said neutral. Their eyes said nothing. It felt like watching someone act empathy without understanding it. Like they knew the shape of the response, but not the reason for it. I started paying attention after that. You know that moment when you realize you've been ignoring something important? That. Repetition. They reused phrases, exact phrases, same wording, same tone, same pauses. Days apart. Humans paraphrase. They drift. This didn't. It was like a recording being replayed. Movement. Their movements were too precise. They sat the same way, turned the same way, even nodded the same way. Once, I tested it. I shifted my weight suddenly while talking. They mirrored me. Not naturally, perfectly. Same speed, same angle, like a reflection that waited for permission. The moment I felt IT, there's a specific moment when discomfort becomes fear. It's when your body reacts before your mind catches up. For me, it happened when they laughed. Nothing was funny, but they laughed anyway. Same laugh as before, same length, same breath pattern. That's when my stomach dropped. Because humans don't do that. Doubt. I tried to rationalize. Stress, social awkwardness. My imagination. I told myself you're being paranoid, but paranoia feels chaotic. This felt controlled. The dream. That night I dreamed of their face. Not doing anything. Just watching me. Same smile. Same eyes. I woke up before the fear hit, which somehow made it worse. Act 2. Ending with a hook. The next time I saw them, they finished my sentence, not guessed. Finished it word for word, including a phrase I'd never said out loud before. They smiled, same smile, and asked me a question. I still don't know how they knew. to ask. That's when I realized something I can't undo. Whatever this was, it wasn't learning about me. It was learning me. After they finished my sentence, I laughed. Not because it was funny, because that's what you do when something doesn't make sense yet. They laughed too. Same laugh, same timing, same length. Perfect synchronization. That's when I noticed something else. They didn't breathe afterward. Most people take a breath after laughing. It's automatic. They didn't. They just stopped. Smiling, watching, the questions change. From that day on, their questions became specific, not invasive, not obvious, but precise. They didn't ask what I did on weekends. They asked where. They didn't ask how my family was. They asked who I spoke to most. They didn't ask what I thought. They asked why I hesitated before answering. It felt like being studied, not emotionally, mechanically. The delay. There was always a delay now. I'd say something. They'd pause, just long enough for the silence to stretch, then respond perfectly, too perfectly, like they were selecting from a list. When others were around, here's the part that made me doubt myself again. Around other people, they seemed normal, not warm, not cold, just average, laughing when others laughed, talking over people occasionally, making small mistakes, but when we were alone, everything reset. Same posture, same stillness, same eyes, like whatever was animating them relaxed when no one else was watching. The mirror moment. One afternoon we stood near a reflective surface, glass, dark enough to see shapes. I noticed something before I could stop myself. Their reflection lagged. Not by much. A fraction of a second, but enough. I turned my head quickly to check. They turned at the exact same time. Too exact. Reflections don't correct themselves. Repetition without awareness. I tested something else. I told the same story twice, days apart. Same details. Same delivery. Most people interrupt. Yeah, you told me. They didn't. They reacted identically both times. Same nods, same same response at the end. That's when it hit me. They weren't remembering. They were processing. The wrong emotion. The next moment still makes my hands feel cold. I told them something serious, something personal, the kind of thing that usually changes a room. Their response was delayed. Then they smiled, same smile, and said something reassuring, but their eyes didn't change. No tension, no softness, just glassy focus, like they'd matched the words to the situation, but not the feeling. That's when I stopped seeing a person and started seeing an interface. The body knows first. My body reacted before my mind did. Heart rate increased. Breathing became shallow. Skin felt tight. Every instinct screamed, do not turn your back. I'd never felt that around another human before. Not fear, alertness, the glitch. Then came the glitch. We were mid-conversation when they stopped. Mid-sentence. Just froze. Eyes open. Smile half-formed. 10 seconds. 20. I didn't move. I didn't speak. Then, without blinking, they finished the sentence, perfectly, as if nothing happened. I asked if they were okay. They tilted their head, same angle as before, and asked, why do people ask that? Their voice changed slightly after that. Still human, but flatter, less variation. Almost like something had been removed or simplified. I caught myself thinking, it sounds like someone doing a very good impression of a human voice. That thought scared me more than anything else so far. The moment I knew I wasn't crazy, someone else noticed. Not directly, but enough. A coworker leaned in one day and said, "Doesn't it feel like they're watching you?" They laughed it off immediately after, changed the subject, wouldn't elaborate. But the damage was done, because now I knew. I wasn't alone in this feeling, isolation. After that, conversations became harder. People didn't want to talk about it. They dismissed it, joked, moved on, and I understood why. Because acknowledging it meant accepting something uncomfortable, that something could look human, act human, and still be wrong. The pattern. Once you see it, patterns appear everywhere. They arrived at the same time every day, left the same way, ate the same food, reacted to the same stimuli, like a loop. Humans drift. This didn't. The night message. Then came the message, sent late. Too late. It referenced something I had only thought about. Not said, not typed, just thought. I stared at the screen for a long time, trying to convince myself there was an explanation. There wasn't one that felt honest. The realization. That night, lying in bed, it hit me. Not all at once, but clearly. Whatever this was, it wasn't pretending to be human. It was learning how, and I was part of the training. The next day I decided to confront it, not aggressively, just directly. I planned the question carefully, something simple, something human, something that required instinct, not processing. But when I finally asked it, they smiled, same smile, and answered a question I hadn't asked yet.